You know that moment when someone asks how you're feeling and you genuinely don't know? Not because you're hiding it. Not because you don't want to answer. But because when you look inside for the answer, there's just nothing there. A kind of blank space where an emotion should be. You know something is happening. You can feel it in your body, the tightness in your chest, the weight behind your eyes, the restlessness you can't explain. But when someone asks you to name it, you can't. The words don't come. The feeling doesn't have a shape. If that sounds familiar, this video is going to explain something about you that most people never get explained to them. It's called Alexithymia, and it affects roughly 1 in 10 people. Not as a disorder exactly, more as a way of being wired. A specific gap between the physical experience of emotion and the ability to recognize, name, or describe what that emotion actually is. In other words, you feel things. You just can't read them. And here's what makes this different from simply being reserved or private. People with alexithymia aren't suppressing their emotions. They're not choosing not to share. The connection between feeling something and knowing what you're feeling, that specific internal translation, is where it breaks down. Psychologists first named this in the 1970s. The word comes from Greek, literally meaning no words for emotions, and the research since then has been consistent. People with high alexithymia don't lack emotions, they lack emotional literacy. The feelings arrive, they just arrive without labels, without context, without a map. So what does it actually look like in daily life? It looks like someone who responds to "Are you okay?" with "I don't know," and genuinely means it. Not as avoidance. As a factual answer, it looks like someone who notices they haven't been eating much lately, that their sleep has been off, that they've been snapping at people. But when they try to trace the cause, they hit a wall. Something is clearly wrong. They just can't name it. It looks like someone who struggles in therapy. Not because they don't want to do the work, but because therapy often asks you to identify what you're feeling. And they're sitting in that chair genuinely trying, genuinely looking inward, and coming back empty. It looks like someone who seems calm in situations that would devastate most people, not because they don't care, but because the emotional signal hasn't made it through clearly enough to register as devastation. And here's the part that rarely gets talked about. People with alexithymia often develop incredibly precise awareness of other people's emotions, sometimes more than their own. When you can't read yourself, you become hyper-attuned to your external environment. You learn to navigate through what other people are feeling, rather than what you are. Which makes them remarkably perceptive and remarkably lonely at the same time. They can read the room, they just can't read themselves. Here's where it comes from, and this is where it gets real. Research consistently links alexithymia to early experiences where emotions weren't safe, weren't named, or weren't responded to. Children learn emotional literacy the same way they learn language, by hearing it reflected back. When a caregiver says, "You're frustrated right now, aren't you?" a child learns what frustration feels like from the inside. When emotions were ignored, dismissed, or met with unpredictability, that learning never happened. It's not a flaw, it's an adaptation. The emotional labeling system never got properly built because the environment didn't support it. And the result is an adult who lives slightly outside their own interior life. Who can describe their thoughts with precision, but struggles to describe their feelings? Who knows something is wrong, but can't tell you what? Who processes pain through their body? Headaches, tension, fatigue, illness, because the emotional system doesn't have another route available. But here is what matters. Alexithymia isn't permanent. Emotional literacy, the ability to notice, name, and understand what you're feeling, is a learnable skill. Not easy, not quick, but learnable. It starts with body awareness before emotional awareness. Before asking, "What am I feeling?" asking, "What is happening in my body right now?" The tightness, the heaviness, the restlessness. These are the emotions before they have names. Start there. It starts with having people around you who name emotions without shame, who create the environment your childhood didn't, who ask twice and mean it. And it starts with understanding that the blank space isn't emptiness. It's a feeling that hasn't found its word yet. You're not numb. You're not broken. You're not cold. You're someone whose emotions arrive without subtitles, and learning to read them, slowly, imperfectly, one feeling at a time, that might be the most important work you ever do. If this explains something you've never had words for before, subscribe to Mind Candid. New psychology every week.